You start dating Jacob, and Jacob doesn't tell you that he was a woman before, and it's been like a couple weeks. How would you feel? What's going on, y'all? Grind and Motivate back in this thing again, man, with another video. And today we're doing part 2 of the whole Jubilee trans versus conservative men situation, man. And I guess the question that we're on around here is biology. Does biology determine gender? What do you think?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Mostly yes. 75% yeah.
I say yeah.
Yeah.
I say like I say yeah. That's like the default. Yeah. Just like a video game when you create a character, default.
Right.
I mean, like it's not the only thing that makes it, but it's like it's the initial starter, the foundation.
Right.
Like yeah, if I got a prick, I'm a man to start. Yeah. Let's get it. Let's see what these folks got to say.
Biology determines gender.
Okay.
So, sex and gender, people try to argue that they're different, but sex and gender actually go hand in hand. And our biology, being a man, comes down to every fiber within our body. So whether that be DNA, chromosomes, testosterone levels, bone density, there's a whole bunch of different factors that go into it, and it all has to do with biology.
So biology, I 100% believe in biology. Today we talk about biology being a social construct. I disagree with that as a transgender person. I was born biologically female. I always acknowledge that, and today I live as a male. Now that being said, sex and gender, they are trying to separate those things. Gender can be, I've chosen my gender. As you see, nobody would, I think, probably understand that I used to.
What do you have on your driver license and your birth certificate?
Right,
do you change it to male or do you change it to?
So that being said, I transitioned to live as a man 29 years ago. So that was way before you see any of this stuff. And I had
that boy a vet in the game. Well, he was out way before back when I wasn't even thinking about this.
So he's like 50-something-year-old.
He's old as hell. Yeah, he looks like a weathered old white guy. They did a great job on his transition.
I had to acknowledge my biology, right? That being said, my license, I travel the world. It has to say male. Can you imagine if I showed up at the airport, they're like, female? Dude, there's something going on here. But I actually got my birth certificate changed to male. I was the first person to do that here in Los Angeles.
I'll never ever in my life protest or try to go against a person who wants to identify. The problem is when you begin to try to change language and you begin to try to change reality, and then therefore it changes on the children, and all of that becomes problematic. If a person says, okay, I acknowledge I'm born as a man or a woman, but I want to identify as this, cool, I respect that. And even if I didn't want to see it that way, and some people may be a little more ambiguous, I wouldn't never disrespect you. I'll call you by your name.
That's right.
Whatever name that you want to be associated with, I'll do that. And I
How do you feel about that? Was he actually talking okay right there, or was okay? Yeah, he was actually talking okay. I agree with what he said too. Like, yes, as long as you understand that you were this, and now you're just kind of presenting yourself as this, you're not actually.
That's not what he meant.
That's what he said. So what do you mean?
So he meant you have your choice, right?
Yeah.
Even though I probably don't understand your choice, but I respect it because that's your choice by the end of the day. So if you prefer to be called a certain way, this is your name. If your name is Thomas instead of Emily, then I'm going to call you Thomas.
Yeah, he said that, but he said as long as you're not denying the fact that you were born a woman first.
Yeah, like that's how you were born, like your bio. So again, sex and gender are
so you're not denying the basic human biology and all that stuff. You just this is how you feel, this is how you want to present yourself.
No, but it's like for those people they're called transgender, right?
Yeah.
I would assume they went through the whole like surgery. So
but a lot of them, you heard them. Come on, bro, you done heard them talk about, I'm a woman. I'm straight up a woman.
Yeah, that's where I felt like it should be separated. People who did nothing to go through the transition, they're just like, oh, today I feel like I'm a man. I'm gonna call myself a man. Tomorrow I wake up and feel like a woman. Today I'm a woman. Those people are bullshit. Like I don't think that makes sense. But like for these people who are actually putting in the effort to go through the whole transition, they get the surgery done, I think they should be treated differently than those people who just like.
I mean, yeah, I feel that too. But don't deny the fact that you are that deep down inside you were this from the beginning. is what he's saying.
No, like, no, there. If you think about people's life stage as different phases.
Y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Are we going on life stages with this whole Confucius situation that she's got here? Or are we going with, oh yeah, man, they were this, but you know, as long if they want to present themselves as this, we'll allow it, as long as they don't deny the fact.
It's like stage 1, you are a woman, yes, but right now you're at stage 5, and you are a man.
Man, this is not no video game where you level up and all that.
It's not leveling up. It's just you change. People change.
I guess.
Like level.
Y'all let us know what y'all think. How did y'all interpret what he said? Let's go.
There's a definite space where I have a different way of being than the younger generation, and why I tend to call myself a transsexual man. And I believe in biology, I believe in binary, so it really does not necessarily align with the new thought process that is happening with the newer generation.
I think that's a good point. I think transsexual and transgender are 2 different concepts. Transsexual is like you're making changes to your biological makeup. Transgender is more like how you identify yourself. So it's like you can still be biologically man, but gender-wise you identify yourself as a female. But if you're a transsexual man, that means you went through both the sexual transition and the gender transition.
So transgender is more on the imaginary plane. Transsexual is real plane.
Transsexual is probably like the inside out, like everything.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The imaginary versus the real.
Yeah, but we don't hear the term transsexual anymore.
Yeah, I ain't
People
heard.
just say
I ain't heard it in a
transgender.
while. Yeah.
DNA is not going to change for anyone.
So you acknowledge there's a biological difference between males and females, because some people on the other side would say there's no difference. Like a female, like I could look like a girl, not having testosterone, but I'm still a male.
Some people are male, some people are female, chromosomally. But when we start to take testosterone, our bodies do biologically change.
But what about trans men who don't take testosterone?
Then their bodies don't
That means
biologically
then they're
change.
biologically still female, right?
Well, and gender in itself is something we get to choose. Okay,
That's right.
just like you said.
Well,
right,
in your
right?
life, you get to choose. Not
That's
you
right.
don't get to choose it for the world, but you get
No,
to choose.
yeah, I
it
get to
That's
choose
right.
my gender because I've been on testosterone for 10 years. Okay, going on 11 years.
But there's some anatomy that will never change.
That's right.
Right? I mean, you still have ovaries. You still have
Yes.
the female reproductive system. You
Yes.
said that you had a child.
Yes, I've given birth. I no longer have female reproductive organs.
Right, but you had that. You will never get male productive organs.
Now, when you think about it, the male and female productive organs are similar, and they're nearly the same. They're different. They're different in size.
Even if
Okay, biologically.
And then
Who cares, man? He's just trying to like, bro, like the Tatum dude actually has a good point here.
What's his good point?
I mean, he's just like, yeah, like you'll never get those reproductive organs. You start off with this reproductive organ, yeah, the dude, and then the dude said, yeah, I don't have them anymore.
The ball is just to produce testosterone, right? Ball exists because they produce testosterone, basically.
They fertilize.
Okay, and then so yeah, if they're taking the hormone, then why do they need balls?
Huh?
So if
No,
you're-
he's just saying from the beginning, like, oh, like it's like a whole. This thing's confusing, but like he's saying that you're like, I don't know, like the guy's kind of trying to deny that, yeah, like you were initially this. Like, I understand what he's saying too. At the same time, he's like, yeah, man, I went through this, so I am gonna decide to switch my gender and present myself as this.
Yeah.
Cause you know he went, like he said, he
Yeah, he
did
went
the work,
through the whole-
he did the extra,
Yeah.
but he's still kind of in a way denying the beginning, how things actually really are.
Oh.
He's still denying that, yeah, you had some things in you that you had to get took out.
I'm more
you can never
aligned.
grow some balls.
I'm more aligned with that white old guy Buck, because I think he's being real, right? He's like, I was born as a woman,
Yeah.
but I went through the surgery, so now I'm a man because I look like a
Yeah,
man.
exactly. That's
so
what I'm
like,
saying, too.
Yeah, so I think
He's saying the same too, but he's saying the same
no,
thing
but
too.
they're
He's
trying
not-
to argue something else. I think
Yeah.
actually they make a good point. It's
Yeah.
like, yes, you probably have a different testosterone level, right?
Yeah.
Hormone level, all that crap. But it's like, if we think about it from the DNA perspective, you still have XX versus
We're not
XY.
talking about that. He's talking about balls and reproductive organs.
Because,
what can you naturally grow now?
I'm actually with the conservative ones
Yeah.
because I'm saying you can change all the hormone levels, but you
Yeah.
can't change your DNA.
Yeah,
Like you still have the female DNA pairing.
we know that.
So
We
it's
know
like
that.
so it's like you can't. So if we're thinking about it from like a genetics point of view,
Man, we know that. We're talking about the fact that you can't grow balls. You can't grow a thing without somebody attaching it.
So if it's attached to me, it's mine now.
Yeah, it's yours now, but you couldn't grow it, so you have to acknowledge that you were this, and deep down you are this.
Not deep down. I mean, like, why are you talking about deep down? It's like in the past, I was this.
Yeah, well,
now
this
I'm
guy
not.
trying to kind of like act like it was never a thing.
And he's an outcast.
Yeah, so what are you talking about? You trying to be good?
No, but he's talking
Stephen
about.
A. Smith Shawty.
I think he's just like denying the biological fact.
This dude?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is, and that's what we're talking about. We're not talking about XY chromosome. We're talking about that. Yeah. Let's keep going and see what these guys got to say.
Good functionality too.
Not necessarily, because the testes and the ovaries are very much similar. One is an egg, one is a fertilizer,
But
and
we
that's the
can never.
difference.
But I never can produce sperm.
You're absolutely right.
Right.
You're absolutely right.
And they can never produce ova.
It's all a social construct.
So
We all
how-
agree
how-
on it.
how exactly-
If you look up, is race a social construct? Ethnicity a social construct? Is time a social construct? Everything's a social construct if you want to think about it that way. But we have sex.
Nah, I think it's different. It's like nationality and all that. It's different because if you change your citizenship, you can technically claim yourself as a Chinese, right? You don't have to look.
know
like,
what he's saying.
You don't have to be Asian looking to
Come on,
be
Skip
Chinese.
Bayless. Come on, man. You
That's
know
a
what
bad
he's
one.
Truths, and we can't change those truths. If you want to say you're trans man, that means you're a biological female that thinks that
No,
you're a male.
I am a biological male. I'm an anatomically.
Well, no,
Like,
because
you know, like,
just
but I'm just
say if I
curious.
was a woman, just say if I was a woman and I wanted to date you, what are you going to tell me?
I would tell you that I'm trans. What do you
Yeah, no, I'm saying you can't tell me that you're a man.
I mean, I'm still a man.
No, but
I'm
you gotta tell
transgender.
me. You gotta tell me that you were born a woman. You have
I
to.
mean, I don't have to.
Well, because if I go down, if I see
Right.
in your pants,
Right.
I'm gonna see something different, and that will be troubling to me.
Right,
if I
but-
had an
But
expectation.
again, this is like leading off.
How do you feel about that?
That's a
You
question I have.
ran outside. You want to
No,
date Jacob?
that's a question I have because I honestly thought if you went through the whole surgery, you would have the full pack. Like you would have you.
I mean, yeah. They had a full pack, but yeah, you have to say like, yeah. At one point, I was this.
Is it functional?
I guess.
But since your body didn't grow it out, does it mean it's a transplant that came from someone else's body?
I don't know. The fact that you have to ask all those questions kind of makes your point invalid earlier.
What point?
When you were trying to talk about, oh yeah, man, you know the XY chromosomes, the juvenile chromosomes, and all that.
What?
You were trying to be Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith. But anyway, man. So yeah, you start dating Jacob,
Yeah.
and Jacob doesn't tell you that he was a woman before, and it's been like a couple weeks. How would you feel?
I feel like when I eventually found out, it would be a shock.
How would you feel? What would you do?
I would feel like you are not honest with me.
Okay. All right. Let's get it. I feel the
Because
same way.
it's a big deal, right? It's a huge deal.
Yeah. So that means that you have to acknowledge.
Because honestly, I feel like even if I'm dating a guy, like a full guy,
Yeah.
full package guy, but he was gay or bisexual, he needs to tell me that. Like he
Yeah.
would be like, I used to date guys before,
Yeah.
because that's a big deal.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is the same thing. It's because it's like it's not something you would just assume by looking.
So you have to acknowledge that at one point you were a woman, or that you're originally a woman deep down.
I don't think it's the fact that you were a woman at one point that's a huge turnoff. It's the fact that your dick does not grow out from your own body. It's someone else's.
So it's
dick.
the fact that you were a woman at one point, basically. You're trying to be a hipster Jones right now.
No,
It's killing me. Skip Bayless, Stephen A. Smith Jr.
No, you can tell me you're a woman. I will still love you. I would just be like, so the dick.
You're being a hipster. You're being a hipster.
No,
You're being a hipster.
No.
Let's go. What y'all think, man? What y'all think, man? Do y'all feel like, man, if I'm dating somebody and they were such and such before, and now they're such and such, they have to tell me, or are you just gonna go about your life like, "Ooh, I'm busting you and sucking on you and looking on you and all that, and you didn't know nothing about it? How would you feel? You had you was going PUA shorter one day. You picked up a girl. She looking great, and then you came back. Maybe 2 days you got the bus open, and then she didn't tell you I was a man before.
You deserve it because you were using the PUA shit. So yeah, that's on you. Let's move on. I hate that shit.
Let's go.
It's the topic, but I mean, to answer your question, if you must know, I do tell the person that I'm talking to or interested that I'm transgender. I don't think that you need it to, you don't need a penis to be a man. I know that you may disagree, which is fine, like I get it, but I don't want one.
Now, I have a question for you.
Alright, man. So I'm gonna have to deny your man card now, bro.
Okay, I still think, like when we're talking about men and women, right?
Yeah.
There's sex, there's gender, right?
Yeah.
Yes, I think for a lot of people, they're like, we're like, speaking of gender, we're men. But like, I still feel like to be biologically men, you need to have the ball and the dick. You just need to have it. Or you can say, I'm biologically women, but I identify myself as a man. Then okay, we know.
Okay.
So we'll be like, okay, pass, because I need the biological man part.
What are you gonna say when they're like, yeah, you're transphobic, cause you won't give me a chance. You're biased.
No, I'm not. You're just shorter than me, honey.
You're short-phobic.
Yes, I am. I'm thinking about the genes of my next generation.
Okay. Okay. All right, let's go and skip to the next question, man. Y'all let us know what y'all think about that, man. Does biology determine gender? Let us know.
Should be allowed to transition.
All right. What's your question? What's your thought on that?
How old is children?
Come on, man.
It's like less than how.
Come on, man.
What's the age?
Come on, man. What's the children's age in China? What's the legal adult age in China?
18 years old.
All right, that's the same thing here.
Is anything below 18 is children?
Yeah. Teenagers and children. Yeah. No, I agree. I absolutely agree. Do you think that children should be able to transition? Let me know. I don't think so. Let's get it.
Well, I was gonna say I find it very interesting that you and I are the only ones that stepped up, especially since we're younger. And you should allow children to feel what they feel, because I felt the way that I felt for as long as I can remember, and
The two that sat down are the dummies of the whole group. At least the other people are a little more rational. The black trans dude was a little less rational, but the older trans white dude is rational. The conservative dudes, I mean, they're obviously conservative, so I mean they're gonna think differently from whatever these guys think anyway. But I think any rational person would say that children should not be allowed to transition because you're too young to make that decision right now. Like there are so many things that you did as a kid that you look back on now, like, why did I do that? That was embarrassing that I did that. That was lame as hell that I did that. I couldn't believe I thought this was cool at this point.
I just feel like this is a country where if you're under 21, you're not even allowed to drink alcohol.
Yeah.
You can't even buy cigarettes at what age? Like 18?
Yeah.
21? I don't know. So you can't even drink or smoke legally, but then you can go through the transition surgery. Right. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, that's idiotic, man. And this is the guy that says, yeah, I'm a man, but then he said, yeah, I didn't get the I don't got the prick package. I don't got the prick package. And then this one over here, like, it's like, yeah, you say you're a man, but it's like you're still looking like
It's probably expensive to get the whole
I'm sure it is expensive, but still. Yeah, still. Let's get it.
something that I cannot deny. Yeah. Although my mother is supportive, when I was younger, I wasn't allowed to wear boys' clothes because that wasn't right. Now I know we're talking about transitioning. It doesn't always have to be hormones. It's like transitioning in society, so being able to dress more masculine. Yeah. I did when I was younger, but as I got into middle school, kids change, people are mean, so I dressed how I would in society, so I dressed like a girl, whatever, but I think that children should be allowed to express themselves in whatever way makes them feel comfortable. Yeah.
Kids are struggling to be who they are.
So speaking of this, the whole trans children thing, did you hear about the kid who raped the girl and he said, yeah, I'm a girl, I'm a real girl. And then so he went to the bathroom with the girls, raped the little girl. Get what they did? They just said, yeah, we're gonna send you to another school. Send him to another school. Didn't arrest him. Didn't do nothing. He went to the next school. Raped another girl.
Wow. How old is he?
I don't know. It was either. I think he was a teenager or something like that. He was either like middle school or high school, one of them. But so that right there, I don't know. Like it's like you can feel however you want to feel, but I don't know. Like to a degree, I think like you can't. There are certain things that you can't do yet. Like, you can't go to the woman's bathroom just because you said you're a girl. You can't get the change just because you feel like this. You have to wait. I think you need to wait until you get a little older, have a little more experience with life or something. That's what I feel like. Get your whole experience with life and then do it.
That does sound very weird. It's like as a kid, right?
Yeah.
They still have the whole package, but they, as a man,
Yeah.
like men's package, but they go to girls' bathroom. They take off their clothes and everything from girls. Ugh.
It's idiotic. It's so Twilight Zone-y.
So what did the girls' parents do? The ones that got.
That's not what they. I don't know what they actually did. I would imagine that they were livid.
Because I felt like if things just went away like that, it probably means the boy's parents are very like.
They're affluent.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's how they can just make things go away and then move on to a different.
So his parents is like kingpin basically. They could just be like, do it, or else I will make something happen to you. That's how kingpin talks.
This is the world we live in.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And there's more rates of suicide for trans individuals because there's literally being laws put in place to prevent them from being who they are, and that's not right. That's not right.
Get your ass over there, boy.
Okay, so I work with children. This is where I have like the biggest problem with the trans stuff is with the children because people, like I'm sure you guys would agree, you want to inject them with the hormones to stop their puberty, their normal puberty. They haven't even developed their prefrontal cortex yet, and you want to stop their natural puberty from occurring to affirm their gender, and then later on they regret it. I think that's not a good thing.
See, that's why this is a loaded question, because transition can mean many things for children. Now, I totally, as a transsexual person, disagree with giving children hormone blockers, medication, surgery.
Yeah, child abuse. Slick. Let's get it.
But what I do agree with is socially transitioning, which means what? Because I did that, okay? And I did that in the 60s and 70s. My parents dressed me like fuck. I was a boy. You know, I didn't have any problems because I just lived, we used to call it a tomboy, right? So that was totally, and I went through puberty and I did all the things. I do not believe children can make those choices, and I do not believe it's okay and ethical for a parent to make those choices for a child. But I do believe gender dysphoria exists in children. I had it.
Man, Buck's gonna make me respect his pronouns, man. Buck, you gonna make me respect your pronouns, bruh. You put up some good numbers and good logic out here. Goddamn.
I like how he break it down because most of us, if we never like get to know this topic, this subject, we just know the superficial level. We just think, oh, you guys are taking hormones. Yeah. But he's actually saying there are different layers to it.
So basically, you just kind of decide you want to play the other side, basically, for while you're a kid. And then you come up and you just decide to go full transition.
I think that should be okay.
Yeah, I think that's cool. That's one thing. But you talking about some we're gonna strap you up and turn you into X-Men. Nope, not gonna do that. Not right now.
X-Men doesn't have. X-Men is true.
Nah, I'm just thinking about like Deadpool where they strapped him up and they turned him into like a little experiment.
Okay.
Yeah. But do we want to continue to hear what they've got to say? Or let's get it.
100% it's there. But to give medication to a child is so unethical to me that you would actually, exactly what you said, you're stunting brain growth, you're stunting all of these things, and you have enough research on it. So I'm in agreement with transitioning medically for children is not okay for me, but I do believe in a social space.
When you say a social transition, it's interesting to me because we can't control what happens in a social situation.
That's right.
So to me, and we talk about suicide rates among young trans people, this whole ideology...
He had a social transition. What is he talking about?
Let him finish.
Alright. He had a social transition though. Yeah, I don't know why I said what is he talking about. Let's see what he has. Let's see what he has to say. I'm sorry, y'all.
is telling people to derive their value off of what somebody else is saying about them, or what somebody else affirms to them. So we say that, society is the problem and we're not allowing people to be who they are, and that's why they're committing suicide. But maybe it has to do with the messaging that we're sending to these kids, that you derive your value from if somebody uses your correct pronoun, or you derive your value if this person accepts you for wearing a dress. Be who you are, but tell them to be empowered about it and not get that empowerment from somebody else.
I feel like that's really kind of inconsiderate to say, that someone would take their life because what someone else says.
Oh, so I think he's talking more about yes, you can be doing all those social experiment, whatever it is. Like you can be a girl, but
social transition, yeah.
Social transition. But then other people look at you, might judge you, and that might hurt. Like it might change how you think about yourself because of those outside voices. So their point of view is to protect kids. If you are a girl, you should just dress like a girl, behave like a girl. If you're a guy, you should just do guy stuff.
I thought he said if you're gonna wear a dress, own it.
Own it.
I thought he said if you're gonna wear a dress and own it and don't care about what other people say.
But as a kid, that's impossible. Like, you can't just tell a kid to be like, oh, don't matter those people mocking you. You're a kid. Of course you're
and that's why kids can't transition. Let's keep going.
To somebody that is important. To somebody I now have friends.
No, I don't think social transition is actually transition. Like for example.
No, social transition is not transition, but I'm talking about that's just another layer as to why a kid can't transition for real. So can they go through the social transition? You can do the social thing, but kids are going to be mean to you, and then you're going to be a kid, so you're going to be like like everything's going to hurt you a little more because you're a kid and you don't know how to take it. So that's another layer. And then imagine you being a kid and you got the whole full transition. Now you run around here like a girl. Everybody's talking about you. Now you're really gonna take yourself out. Yeah. Because you're a kid.
Another thing is, I don't think kids really think about transition the same way as adults think about it. Like they don't understand what transgender is. They just feel like, for example, I'm a girl, but I don't like to wear skirt. I like to wear pants because it's more comfortable and it's like, if I'm running.
I don't think so. I mean, if you're of puberty age, you know what sex and everything is. So you might be a boy, but you instead of wanting to prick somebody down, you want to get pricked down. You get what I'm saying? So you know what it is.
You were talking about kids that already know what sex is. I'm talking about kids that's younger, like if they're 9, 10 years old.
I think but we're talking about from 17 on down.
So it's you're 9, 10 years old, you don't know what sex is, but you already know you don't like to, for example, you're a girl, but you don't like to wear pink stuff, you don't like to wear skirt, you don't like to have your hair
that's different.
long,
that's a whole
other
other situation. I think that's alright. You do whatever the hell you want to do with as far as that goes. I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. If you're my kid, I'm gonna tell you what I think. But What
you gonna tell them?
I'm gonna be like, boy, if you don't take that dress off. You hear how I said it? Boy, you don't take that dress off?
What, Daddy?
Because that's what girls do.
But Mommy bought me that dress. She said it's okay.
Go get your mom right now. Let's go.
Friends who, their family does not use the correct pronouns and they transition and they live in the same household. This person struggles with depression and anxiety. Could you imagine living in an environment like that where you're no longer validated? That's coming from your own parents.
But if you base your validation off of other people, this is a hard truth. But if your sole validation,
no, you definitely have to do it. Listen, I could give people a shit when everyone thinks about me. I do what I want. But for everyone, that's not the case because everybody has different personalities.
Right, but that doesn't make it any. That doesn't mean that.
But still, what you're not acknowledging, though, is that in that environment, it is not supported.
I'm acknowledging that. I'm just saying that we're saying that for some reason they should look for that validation from somebody else.
When you love somebody and you have a family, you want them to.
But you're focusing not on the individual.
Bro, he's gay, so of course he's gonna know what it's like to not get validated. He's a conservative gay dude. I'm pretty sure his parents like, you old F. Yeah, there probably was a little bit of invalidation in there from his cousin. Somebody invalidated him in his family.
I mean, if that kind of thinking help you to help with your mental health, do it. But not everyone can do it. I'm just saying, I feel like.
So your son says, "Yeah, I want to be a girl." You're gonna be like, "Hey, girl, what you doing?"
No, I'm saying it's like.
No, I'm asking you. Your son said he wants to be a girl.
Yeah.
He said, "I'm a girl."
I'll be asking him, what make you think you're a girl?
Okay, and then, so he wants to be a girl. Are you gonna start calling her, "Hey, girl, you wanna go to the mall?"
No, I'm gonna ask him why he think he's a girl.
No, I didn't ask you all that.
No, listen. If he tells me because of A, B, C, D, E, and then people told him only girls can do those stuff, I'll be like, no, as a boy you can do those too. So you're still a boy. You just like those stuff. You're still a boy.
Yeah, but then he said, "Yeah, I hear all that, Mom, but I'm a girl." Then what?
Oh, so you want to be a thug father?
I still want you to call me a girl, even though you just told me what it is. Now what?
So what do you want your name to be?
I Renee.
You sure that's the name you want to be called? When you go to school, that's the name you want to be called. When you're in the shopping mall, you want us to call you that name in public, and then if I call you that name, you're gonna turn around.
You know what I'm gonna say?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm gonna say?
Mm-hmm.
No.
No.
Every time he said no. Yeah, no.
You can't talk to kids like that.
What about my dress? No. What about my dress? No.
Then kids gonna shut down completely. Everything they feel, they're gonna come to mommy and say no.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I'm gonna be more rational than I am, but then there's gonna be like a line I feel like you can't cross. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Like yeah, we're gonna talk about that, but bro, I'm not calling you a girl.
Yeah, but you have to figure out why fundamentally.
Yeah, I know. We're gonna figure out all that, but then I'm gonna still come to the conclusion that no. Go strap up the shoulder pads and the boxing gloves.
You know what's a really smart way of doing it?
What?
It's like, yes, the bottom line is no. We're not gonna turn the boy into a girl,
Yeah.
but we're gonna make the boy feel like it's his idea that he doesn't want to be a girl. It's not because dad says no, it's because he thinks he's still a boy. I think that's very important.
Say that one more time.
So it's like, we can't make the kid feel like he cannot be a girl because dad and mom disapprove.
Okay.
He has to be like, oh, I don't want to be a girl. I'm still a boy.
Yeah.
That's the reason why I'm staying as a boy. I think that's very important.
So I gotta hit him with some shock value. Like that's why you don't want to be a girl. Is what you mean?
Yeah, or be like, everything you just said is still a boy thing. You're still a boy.
So what if he say, yeah, I want to get my nails painted and I want to wear thongs?
Nails painted? I think that's cool. But like thongs? Why do you want to wear thongs? Did you see dad wearing it? That's why. Did you see your dad wearing it? Get your dad over here. We need to have a conversation.
Nah, you just brushed over the fact that you said painting your nails was cool.
Yeah, like if you want to paint your nail because you're a little boy and you saw some TV stuff.
Nah, bro. No nails painted. No nails painted, bro. No nails painted. He wants to get eyelashes. Nah, bro. No eyelashes, bro. Nah, none of that. If you want to go play for the other side, that's fine. If you want to act like that, that's cool. I still accept you. But we ain't doing all that. And then when you get older, you get of age, now you can decide what you want to do.
I just feel like if you're really tough on these kind of subjects, the kids will be like, okay, right now I'm still living with you guys, so I'm gonna listen to you. But once I reach the age where I can move out, I'm gonna be super 200% rebellious. I'm gonna do whatever I want.
I already said that. I said once you get out of here, decide.
That would be too late.
No, it won't.
Okay, we have to talk about. We have to go deeper.
Yeah. You ain't about to have me out here like Jeannie Ma talking about some gender fluid.
Father figure.
Let's see what they got to say.
This is good.
I think for me it's surprising because I would believe that a woman or a person who's born as a woman who now identifies as a man didn't have a positive role model as a man, and therefore they felt somewhat insecure as a woman, which makes them feel a certain way and want to be a certain different person. Maybe they want to be the man that their father never was, or whatever the case may be. And so it was very interesting. I mean, being honest, it was interesting to see pretty much a majority of you guys come forward.
That's so great. I think that's really important that you say that, because I do think a lot of people probably feel that way about guys like me, right? That our fathers we didn't have the right upbringing, or my father was amazing.
That's interesting. I thought that when they put this question up, all the people on the trans side were gonna say they didn't have a positive.
And the gay guy too.
And maybe the gay guy too, but so I was thinking that because of that one video we watched, they were talking about all the people that were going through it for the most part, like their mom or their dad said something to them that was crazy as a kid, or something happened crazy as a kid, and then that's what made them kind of go that way. I guess something that doesn't mean that something crazy on the side, but beside those positive father figures didn't happen, too. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
they're still struggling with something in life.
Yeah, something might have happened. Some dude might have taken it behind a dumpster or something like that. And who knows? Something crazy like that might have happened.
I do feel like it's very important to have a very positive male figure in the family, because especially if you're a boy, because you learn how to behave as a decent man from your dad, from those like male figures. So it's because I do think, yes, mom can teach you that, but it's like female energy and male energy, it's like so different. So sometimes you need that kind of conversation from a male. Yeah,
that's real.
But how do you define a positive father figure?
I think they just were saying that somebody that that's loving and supportive, and they want you to be the best that you can be and stuff like that, and they're supportive. So that's that.
I also feel like one big role that dad has is to show the kid how to treat a woman correctly, like righteously. Because I feel like kids get the first impression of how relationship works from their own parents. So if parents have like a very terrible relationship, a lot of them either like lose faith in like love, right? Or they just feel like it's the right way to like yell at each other or like like beat each other out. So
let's go to the next question. I don't show as much emotion as I like. Do you show as much emotion as you like? Let's go.
I do.
You do? I know you do.
Yeah.
I deal with it.
Oh, you don't like it? You deal with it, so you don't like it? Fine.
Y'all see how ladies jump to conclusions? Let's go.
I don't show emotion as much as I'd like.
I definitely have sensed and noticed since transitioning that being on testosterone has made me cry less, which is very interesting because I believe that before I transitioned and started taking testosterone, I feel like not being able to cry as much, it makes me feel like, I'm like, damn, I wish I could cry right now, but it's not gonna happen.
Why do you wish you could cry? That's nice.
No. I'm saying, but it's a valid point. It's the hormone thing really changes your emotions. Like most girls are on birth control, right? And I notice a huge change in my mood when I start taking birth control, like month to month. It's just like it's scary at first because you just feel like you lose control over your own emotions. Like sometimes you just feel it's so overwhelming and you don't know where it came from. It's definitely scary. Like I don't think birth control is a good thing for female, to be honest. It's like it's excessive hormones, like fake hormones.
I mean, but if you don't want to have a deadbeat dad around and you busting around, it's gonna be what you got to do.
You gotta strap up.
You gotta strap up, or you got to BC controller. You're gonna have to do either one. And a lot of folks ain't scrapping up in these streets, so there's gonna have to be that controller. Unfortunately.
I think strapping up is a way to prevent STD from spreading.
We know that. Yeah, but I'm just saying, as far as a woman, if you want to be a liberated woman and you want to go bust around and bust this guy and try this guy too, you're going to have to strap up, or you're going to either have to be on controller, because we don't want you to be stuck with Ricky's baby.
I don't like the way you're making it sound. It's not because we want to bust multiple guys. That's why we're taking.
Some ladies want to be they want to do a little extra.
Yeah, but the main reason why we're taking birth control is supposedly it moderates our periods. So it always come on the same time, right? And then it's supposed to be painless, and that helps a lot of women that have like tremendous or extreme.
That's cool, but I mean, it's in the name, birth control.
So you can't just be like, oh, she's taking birth control, she must be a 304.
No, nobody said that you must be a 304, but I'm just saying, you could still just have somebody that you're dating right now, you thought they were cool, and then you sat there and let them bust because you didn't have no controller, and then now you're stuck with Ricky's baby. And Ricky doesn't want to be around because Ricky played a charade, pulled the rug from under you, now he's trash.
I do feel like as a lady, like you just relying on guys' pull-out game is...
Yeah, you have to be just a little bit more responsible.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. You ain't married to the man, you don't know what kind of dude he might end up being. That's all.
And I'm a trans man. Before transitioning, I guess only presented as lesbian, but since transitioning, I've been able to be more comfortable with my sexuality. I've definitely seen on like dating apps and stuff, a lot of conservative men fetishizing trans individuals, and it's interesting because a lot of the time they say that they don't identify as gay or within the community, and yet they're fetishizing my community.
Interesting.
So I don't know about you guys, but I always speak my mind. If I feel a certain way, I'll tell somebody, and that probably cost me a lot of relationships, but that's just how I am. So
I don't think there's anything wrong with, I know we're talking about vulnerability, you know, a long time ago. I don't think there's anything wrong with being vulnerable. I think, like we said, there's times and places for knowing when it's okay to be vulnerable and being self-aware of that, and then, you know, being strong when you need to, and being sad, you know, when it's appropriate. But I certainly am not as vulnerable or not as emotional as probably I should, just because it's not something that I always did growing up. But I don't feel like I have any real issues like suppressing. I just feel like I kind of get it out in other ways.
Yeah, that's great you look at it like that, because I believe for me, like my personal experiences, like because I was one, you know, to transition at a very young age, and my dad being in the military, being a veteran, he would see me being vulnerable at times, and he'd be like, well, don't you want to be a man? And that would make me feel like, oh, am I not supposed to be vulnerable anymore? Now that I'm going to transition. And it was just like very hard for me because, like I said earlier, it was hard for me to have that father figure at that time of my life.
You know, my process of, you know, digesting emotions is by myself, and I use that time to self-reflect. So if I'm feeling angry, or if I'm, you know, feeling really passionate about something, or whatever the emotion is, sometimes I pull back and I don't show that emotion because I'm reflecting on it and trying to understand why it's there. So I think a lot of times people can think men aren't showing enough emotion, but in reality they're just self-assessing why that emotion is there in order to see what it's trying to teach us.
Right. I think for when I was female, I was much more angry.
Pinocchio said a lot of time it's not that men don't show emotions, it's more like he's self-reflecting, thinking why that emotion even showed up or appeared in the first place.
I don't know. I mean, like,
or do you just block it off?
Not really. I mean, you have the emotion. You don't have to sit there and be like, oh, man, why am I feeling this? I'm not a robot or some guy who grew up in the woods or something. Why are you feeling this? No.
So do you feel like you tend to show your emotions, or do you just like ignore it and do something else instead to distract yourself? I'm
kind of more in line with what the conservative white guy was talking about, where it's like I'm just not used to just letting them out like that. So I mean, I will get them out with something else.
How?
Maybe I go work out. Maybe I go for a run, clear my head. Maybe I'll do something else. Whatever. Yeah.
So you just resolve it.
Yeah.
Internally.
Yeah, because everything, I don't think everything costs to be like, wah, wah, or like extra mad and simpy or something like that.
Because I feel like there are two different things, right? One is someone else's caused my emotions.
Yeah.
The other thing is my own behavior caused it.
Yeah.
I feel like if it's my own behavior, yes, I can resolve it within myself. I don't have to talk about it or show it. But if it's another person that caused a certain way, I feel like it's necessary to have a conversation with that person. Yeah. Right? So, yeah.
Yeah. I guess I'm thinking more like if I did something self-reflective or something, so like self-inflicted, then I would how I would resolve it. But yeah. Like you said, if somebody else caused an issue, then I think that I would need to talk to them. But if it's somebody that I just can't be reached, then I've kind of just have to take my losses on that. I mean, there's nothing not really I can say. Say if it's a girl that left you for a dude, I can't call her 30 times like a stalker, show up at her house, and be simpy and be like a kid killing folks.
Or if it's just like walking on the street and a stranger did something to you that caused you to feel a certain way, and that stranger is like far long gone, and you're sitting at home feeling mad, right? You can't do anything about it. You just have to kind of adjust how you think so you can stop being mad.
What did the stranger do that you didn't do, that you didn't think about, that you didn't do anything right away?
Huh?
What did the stranger do?
What did the stranger do?
Yeah.
Oh, like for example, they said something racist to you, right? Or they just did something that like kind of ruined your mood, and you were just driving home, sitting in the car thinking about this whole time, feeling mad. Yeah. Then there's nothing you really can do about it.
That's real. Yeah. There's nothing you can really do about it. That's real.
Because that moment of the time window for you to do anything reflective or do anything back has passed. It's like long gone.
Yeah.
Right.
That's real. That's the end of the video right there, man. I guess we went on a whole tangent, guys. But I showed a little bit of emotion there. But let me know if you guys do you guys show emotions like you like? Let us know. How did you feel about the questions that they asked? How did you feel about some of these guys' talking points? How did you feel about our talking points? If you watched up to this point, thank you. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time.